What if I told you that the reason why pieces of music can distort your sense of time isn't because of harmony or rhythm, but structure? Would you believe me? In 1992, North and Hargreaves did a study that showed that people listening to music in waiting rooms felt like time had passed quicker than those who had no music in the waiting room. Now that makes sense because time flies when you're having fun. But what is that fun? You might hear people say, I love those chords, or that's got a good groove. But is it the groove itself, or is it when the groove kicks in? I'm going to argue it's when it kicks in. The same study inspired Blaise Pascal University in 2013 to dig a little bit deeper into what it was that led to these distortions in time. And they found that emotional valence and arousal were the most significant contributors to the sense of time warping. Actually more to do with anticipation and fulfillment of changes in music than the momentary isolated enjoyment. The harmony, the rhythm, the pulse didn't have too much of an effect, but the anticipation of a climax or the anticipation of a change is what distorted time. That's probably why in the same study, when rhythms were repeated exactly one after the other, say for example continued quavers, time actually felt slower because the anticipation had gone. They knew what was coming next. They also found that when these anticipatory accents occurred earlier in the piece, they found the music to feel shorter than it actually was. They also found that when these anticipatory events occurred later in the piece, the music was found to be slower than it actually was. The really interesting thing is that a constant tempo, not constant rhythm, but constant pulse throughout a piece, in other words, crotchet 120 for the duration, had no bearing at all on time perception. It felt like normal time. It could be quick, it could be slow. It's the changes that make the difference. So what does this mean for us as temporal artists? Well, I think it means we have to dig deeper into the structure of what we do. To ask questions, is this the right place for this crescendo? Does it start too soon? Or is this climax too soon? Do you actually want a climax, or do you want it to be static music? Are there enough phrases in this modulation to make it feel smooth? It's all questions that relate to the structure of the music. In this sense, structure is just another division of time that we consume whilst listening to music.